Hey guys, J.H., welcome back. Okay, now this is just, which we've always had in Chinlock from day one. We've always had an options clause, so to speak. As long as you apply the base principles of Chinlock, which are non-negotiable. You can't go away from the base principles of Chinlock and suggest that the golf swing is going to be Chinlock, because it's not. If you incorporate any conventional mechanics, dynamics into Chinlock, it's not Chinlock. It's designed not to have those type of dynamics or mechanics in the golf swing. It's just designed that way. But we can have, you know, subtle little differences in the processes that we do have in Chinlock. They're in there, but we can have them a little bit differently applied on occasions. Okay, so today I just want to give you an option for backswing positioning and increasing the ease of doing that. Yeah. With Chinlock, we want to get the club set and flowing in the backswing. Now, what I do in my own Chinlock is that I really very much lag the club head so that I can get the wrist cock to happen automatically as a result of the negative load going into positive load. But some people have difficulty in doing that. And I think one of the major issues with any golf swing is being able to set the wrist correctly in the golf swing. Now, I think that there's a way that you can set the wrists correctly in Chinlock other than the way I set my wrists, and that is with negative flow coming into a action-reaction reversing of that and going negative to positive. But for some people that's hard to do, and it might feel like it's a little bit out of control. But with everything else still associated with the base premise of Chinlock, and that is that we're going to swing the club in this channel here beside our body, I'm going to show you something. It's not my invention. It was invented, you know, back in the late 50s, early 60s, by a guy called Joe Dante. And I was a big fan of Dante's back when I had my own teaching facility. And I showed a lot of people what I'm going to show you now, and it was for people that had difficulty setting the golf club in a standard golf swing. In a conventional golf swing, that's basically what happens in the conventional golf swing. So nothing is happening with the wrist cock there, or the hinging, or the setting of the golf club in a conventional golf swing. You'll take it back to here, and then from there on, you have to get yourself in a position where you can set the club and cock it or position it correctly. Now, there's a lot of time associated to get there. But what Dante came up with and what he believed, and I totally agree with him, was he said, why wouldn't you set the cock position or the cock mechanics or positioning at address? And what he meant was this. Now those wrists are hinged. They're hinged and cocked. In a conventional golf swing, I would just take it from there, and I'm not doing anything else in the golf swing. The hinging and the cocking is already done. And I haven't moved my arms, I haven't moved anything. All I've done is I've address set the golf club in position. Now what's interesting, what Dante used to do in a conventional golf swing, he was here and he would just hinge that trail hand back like that, and what then the effect of doing that got the lead wrist and the lead arm there advancing itself that way. Look, see how that lead arm has advanced itself there? And then he just went from there into that position. Now, Joe was probably the latest angle producer in the history of golf. I don't think anyone has ever produced a later angle than he has. maybe Mac O'Grady, but Joe used to have like 135 degrees on the shaft here. And Mac O'Grady used to get similar positions to that. And if you watched Mac O'Grady would do a little bit of that. Mac used to have a very early set in his head, still does. He used to set the club very early in the backswing, here, but not as early as Dante. Now, what I'm saying is that in Chinlock, where we normally go here before anything happens, we can actually set the club here like that, there. Now, it'll be a little different to going sideways in that setting will be an angular setting. It'll be a tangential setting. We want the club to move this way. We don't want it to move that way. We don't want to set the wrist like that because that gets the club moving that way. We want the golf club to move this way, so we're going to tangentially set it like that, here. But watch my lead hand, look. Arm, it moves that way. See how it moves forward? Here? It goes from here to here. But look where the club goes. Club's way back here. The club's gone a metre. Here. And then from there, guys, all you've got to do is just push it back in the channel. Now, the good thing about that, in doing that and pushing down with that trail hand and hinging that trail wrist, is that it pressures down in the backswing. It gives you that pressuring down that we want in Chinlock golf swing. We don't want any elevation feeling in the golf swing. We want a pressuring down in the backswing. Now, as soon as I do that, I feel enormous pressure down because this hand is pushing it down. Now, it was sort of re-mentioned and reinvigorated by a fellow Australian from South Australia here, a guy called Ross Kreshner. Ross is a Joe Dante devotee, and he said, JH, why don't you have a look at incorporating that wrist set into Chinlock? He said, because, you know, I, like everybody else, you know, have a lot going on in a backswing and a long time before I've got the club set. But if I could get it set very early, the work's done. All I've got to do then is just take the club back. So yeah, so Ross alerted me to it. I haven't even hit a shot with it. So I'm going to try it. But I know that in a conventional golf swing, when I used to do it, I used to hit the ball beautifully. So we're going to try and incorporate just an early set in Chinlock. No change in our geometry or our base requirements. We're just going to set it here early. Oh, wow. 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 Now, guys, that's the first shot with it. What was the ball flight? Really hard power draw. Really hard power draw. Because what you'll feel when you do that is you're shutting the face down. It'll be a feeling, but it's only square to square. It's just square to square. If I have a conventional golf swing here, and the club face is pointing at the golf ball there, by the time I get the club back to here, the club face is pointing over there. It's pointing 90 degrees away from the golf ball. But if we apply the Dante set, and we do that, the club face is still pointing at the golf ball. And if I do it on a tangent, here, it's facing at the golf ball. Here. It's not here. Club face is not there, pointing over there. So it's a square to square shut down position. That was really, really strong. Flatter than normal because there's a lot of trap on it. But that was my first shot at it. Here. And there's my second shot at it. What does it feel like? It feels like I've got a lot of wrist set early in the golf swing. That's as simplistic as I can describe it, because that's what it feels like. Here. I don't know if you can hear that, guys, but gee, that's good contact. That's amazing contact. I'll hit one this way. It's amazing. It feels so compact. And does the set feel early? Oh boy, does it feel early. It does. It's probably nowhere near as early as I think it is, but it feels early. And getting a hard, flat draw. And the wind is really strong into us, so it's really good from that point of view. I just pull that back there like that. I pull that, watch the lead hand. When I pull the trail hand in here, see what it does? It closes that shoulder for a start, look. Pushes that elbow out there and closes that shoulder, which is so beneficial to channel lock. No movement on that ball at all, none. And there's a really hard left to right wind. But there was just no movement on that ball. It was just dead straight. So if you think you're shut down and you're going to pull hook it, that ain't going to happen. For anybody that hasn't hit a power draw, this will give you one. If you do it as we're suggesting it should be done, because it's just that type of shot. The face is shut down, very strong closure, and we're very much into out. So we're going to get that that draw look about the shot. I don't want to say draw spin, because no such thing as draw spin. There's no draw spin or cut spin. There's always backspin on a golf ball. And the only reason the ball draws is that the axis of the golf ball changes, the spin. But there's no draw spin. It doesn't go that way. It's just the axis changes on the golf ball. And that's why we get different flight. But there's always backspin on a golf ball. People would think the draw spin would be that. Well, if you had that type of spin on the ball would go into the ground. So you don't want to use terminology that's not correct. I've used it my whole life, draw spin, cut spin, but it's not. It's all backspin with a change in the axis tilt of the golf ball. Here we go. Well, what's my conclusion? That's perfect ball flight. And I still feel a lot of tennis ball on the string, because as soon as I do that, I feel a heavy golf club. It's not as if I'm losing the momentum of the golf club. I'm not losing it, because doing that, I get this tennis ball on a string. The club feels very heavy. When I do that, when I push that down, it flicks the head like that. That was just a perfect golf shot. I actually like this very much. And for people that have trouble setting it, what's interesting, guys, that's about half a club longer. It's more powerful. It's a more powerful strike. More powerful strike. And really windy here right now. And that's just boring holes in the wind. It's there. We just pull this back here like that. It's amazing the difference in the ball flight. It's just a different flight. Different flight. more penetrating flight. See, that's a full club longer. That's mad. That's a full club longer, guys. Maybe because I've just got that club face pointing at the ball. And I'm using true loft and a little bit of de-loft. Every one of those shots is a good shot. No stinkers. And it feels profoundly different. That one was just a little push. I just probably didn't crank that as much as I was doing on the other shot. Just, you know, like 2-yard push. It was just nothing. Shut the face down a little bit here. I've got to tell you guys, all the time I've been on Chinlock, that's the best 5-iron contact I've felt. That's the best iron contact I've felt since I've been on Chinlock. That was just absolutely exquisite. That was Squash City. Absolutely squashed the ball. And I picked that up. Well, I've done it before, so it's not as if I'm doing it for the first time. But it feels like this. This is what it feels like. That's what it feels like. Now, the good thing about that, guys, watch what happens when I do that. Watch the shoulder. And it throws the club into that channel straight away. So it's just a variation on the setting of our club for the backswing. See, I've got that lead knee always bent now, guys. I really feel that that's just a cornerstone of my golf swing now. And it's the good thing about Chinlock, guys, you come out here when it's really windy like this, and this is an awful wind. It's, you know, left to right, India left to right was the wind that a right-handed player hates, but it just sneaks the ball back into the wind. I don't know if you can hear that, guys, but it sounds good to me. Gee, that's long. That feels really good to me. So guys, it's a variation. For people who have trouble setting the club, set it early. And I'm not doing it as Dante would do it, because I'm only doing it, you know, haven't done it for a long time. But if I can actually get it set here before I take it back, that would be fantastic. Oh, guys, you've got to. There's a little corridor here I'm hitting into, and it's with a normal swing, the wind would just blow that ball away, and this is boring holes in the wind. The flight's a little bit flatter, but not much. A few degrees flatter. If I hit this, you know, this 5-iron, if I hit this 5-iron, you know, 70, 80 feet in the air, then it's probably going, at the moment it's probably going, you know, 65. But just fantastic. Look, the feet are down all the time now, guys. It's just a free arm swing past a passive body. Now that was a really hard power draw. That one moved probably 7 or 8 yards. Really slung back into the wind. Because I just felt that I had a lot of closure on the club face and the backswing. Come on, Jason. It's just, I'm always shallow into the ball anyway, but this just feels like I'm just hitting the ball just above the bottom of it, like on the bottom quadrant in this, you know, inside of the golf ball. That's what it feels like. Wow. Now if I can just get that lead knee starting that downswing, cock it in, JH, and then it'll go back. Just got to complete the turn. It's amazing, so many of those shots are just dead straight. I mean, no movement on them at all. Like none. Come on. That's the shot. Wow. That's the shot. What's that taking me? 20 shots or something? To get it perfect. That's it. You just got to have the confidence to get it set early. I mean, I don't do that. I mean, I normally sweep it away. You know, I float load it. But this is sort of presetting the load. Come on, Jage. You know, when I said that other 5-iron was the best I've hit since on Chinlock, that's just jumped to the top of the table. Just fantastic. Let's see what it it's like with driver. This will be interesting. This will be interesting in terms of the flight. It'll be very interesting. This is my 41-inch driver. This is interesting. Wow, look at that. Guys, there's a 41-inch driver gone as far as a 48-inch driver. Okay, I mean, I'm not a long hitter, guys, at my stage of life, but I know how far I hit a normal drive, and that one was 10, 15 in the air longer. That was just fantastic. Now for me, 10 in the air is longer. That was just ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Come on. Holy dooly. This is dead into the wind here, guys. This is crazy. So for fellow Aussie Ross Kreshner in South Australia, we were talking about it only yesterday and or the day before, and buddy, it works. Well, I knew it works, Ross, because I taught it before in a conventional golf swing. Unbelievable. You can take it to a driver like this straight away. There it is. It's just that, guys. That's what it feels like. I just pull that up. Pull that in here. It works with everything. Come on. And this is downhill to the ball here. Terrible place to be hitting a driver. Come on. This 41-inch driver, people say, don't you lose distance because of the radius is so short? I don't, because I can swing my arms faster because I'm closer to the ball and my balance is better. So what I lose in the radius, I pick up with the arm speed. Arm speed increases because I'm closer to the ball and I'm better balanced. I just smash that. I'll really smash this. That's the best drive I've hit since I've been on Chinlock, guys. The best. Ooh, that's almost Mr. X distance. He was here a while ago. Where he's gone. He's now working at the golf course here, guys, so he's doesn't have a lot of time. That's the best drive I've hit since I've been on Chinlock. Now this is pure Chinlock. All it is we're getting in the channel easier, and we're just setting the club earlier. But there's nothing else that's introduced to Chinlock. There's no other swing type or swing methodology or process. It's just Chinlock with a different set. Now what I've got to do is just take some time in the backswing. Come on. Guys, they're really good shots for old JH, I can tell you. Amazing shots for JH. And considering the wind is so strong into us, it's fantastic. I think I've got a little bit of down, more down than I normally have with my driver. Through impact I'm usually up significant, but this has actually flattened it out a little bit. Newsflash, that's the best drive I've hit since I've been on Chinlock. What was interesting there, guys, that felt a little bit from centre to toe impact, which feels unbelievable on this driver. Always has. And that means I'm really into out when I hit it. Let's hit another one. Look at that guy, look. Wow. Well, guys, all I can say is two words: it works. And all it is guys, is something to give you an advantage in setting the club early. Now this is just a little pitch shot with a 54-degree sand iron. Now this will be interesting with this. Wow, you just get nothing but golf ball. Nothing but golf ball. I thought that'd be really steep into the ball and chunky, because it felt steep with a short club. That's about, into that wind, guys, that's about 85 yards into that wind. And that's a little crunchy shot. No, those three balls are right on, they're a little triangle, like a metre triangle. There they are there. Now, it feels steep to me with the short iron. Well, with the sand iron. It feels very steep, but I just think I need to just hit a little bit more into out. I mean, it's still perfect shots, but just feels a little different here. So guys, it works for everything. So let's recap. That's the negative load, negative to positive, which sets the wrist very late. This is the Dante over the ball, where we just push the trail hand like that. which pushes that here. Watch the lead arm. And then we just take it away from there. Bring it down and hit it. Looks like this at the front on. There. Here. So guys, it's something, if guys have trouble getting back and feeling they don't know when they're going to set the club, set it early. Just set it right off the ball. Just hit one more 5-iron. Just set it right off the ball. Immediately off the ball. I'm probably, when I look on the video, I'll say, Joe, you're nowhere near setting it off the ball, but my intention is such. Now guys, what a shot to finish on that. I hope the contact sound came up. So that's another way. It's not a departure from Chinlock, and I'll never depart from Chinlock. I don't want anything else in this golf swing other than Chinlock. But that's a variation on how to set your wrists in Chinlock in the backswing. In a conventional golf swing, I used to teach it this way. Conventional golf swing with the Dante move. Forward ball position, and a conventional golf swing with body rotation. Here, ball up there, here. That's a conventional golf swing with all that right side around. I mean, that ball went really nicely, but it had a little pull on it. But and that's the forward of centre ball position. But the good thing about that is it felt really strong off the golf club. Conventional. Still good flight. But with the forward ball position, I always feel like I'm getting a chance to drag the ball a bit. So guys, it's just the trail hand just does that, and it just pulls the lead hand into that position. Here we are, here. See how quick it sets, look. Everything's set, just push it up from there. Okay guys, just something that if you're having trouble setting the club in the backswing, do it over the ball. Thanks Ross for getting me back on the Dante.